Whether you're a life coach, therapist, biohacker, invested in wellness, or in the healthcare profession, if you have an intention to work in psychedelic spaces, you're in the right place then. If you're called, get involved. But first, get informed. Let's talk the 4 N's: intake, intention, in-space integration, leading to deeper transformations. Psychedelic Coach Podcast, Talk Cole. Walk you through the process, it's all possible. Leave space for the follow through. Most importantly, integration is not optional.
So we're talking about navigating holiday family drama. I am grateful to have you all here. If you're here in Zoom, please feel free to drop your location and where you're tuning in from, where you're dialing in from. And if you're in the Facebook group, please also let us know where you're tuning in from. I'd love to hear about it. Today, we're talking about navigating family holiday drama. This is something we've been talking about, the oppression trap triangle, for a long time at the Condor Approach. And if you haven't learned about it before, you're going to learn about it today. It's an amazing method for looking through things. So a little bit about my family drama, my family holiday drama, and what has driven me into a place to really want to talk about family holiday drama. When I was a kid, I had a huge issue with enmeshment with my mother. And enmeshment is when you become like your parents' confidant or their therapist, or you become enmeshed with their whole situation. And so I started to actually rescue my family from the things that I wanted. And so I asked, one time when I was a kid, I asked for all these different things from Santa Claus, and I was extra good. I made sure that I was good. And because I'm not sure if you follow Santa Claus or not, if you're a good kid, you get the good toys and the things that you really wanted. And when Christmas came around, I didn't get the things that I wanted. I didn't get anything close to what I wanted. My brother did, my sister did, but I did not. And it turned out that what I wanted was too expensive and Santa Claus couldn't afford it and so on. And so what I started to do was I was told that I was asking for too much, and I was asking for too much of Santa Claus, and I was asking too much of the world. And so what I did is I started backing down from asking for anything during the holidays. That was one thing during Christmas, and it was a nightmare for me to watch everybody else get the things that they wanted, and I never asked for the things that I wanted because I was afraid I wasn't going to get them. And so I wanted to rescue Santa Claus. I wanted to rescue my mother and my father. I wanted to rescue everybody from me. And in turn, with that rescuing, I became a victim at the same time. And everybody else in the world was also a villain because I wasn't getting the things that I wanted. And so I was trapped in a very stuck place. And I find during the holidays, and many of the people that I've worked with in psychedelics, many of the people that I've worked with in just therapeutic spaces at the hospital, when I used to work at the hospital, all the stories that would come about would be stories around this type of drama. And why people get stuck in all kinds of argumentative spaces is because people play that triangle, right? And I'm going to talk about that triangle more and more as we go along. And if this is resonating with you, if this is a deep space of resonance for you, I invite you to make sure that you hop on a call with me or Cole or someone on our team, and you talk to us about maybe coming to the Condor Approach and dialing into this and really learning about this triangle, because we go into it in a whole lot of depth at the Condor Approach. So I'm going to move on from this. Family holiday drama, I'm going to bring it back in. Thanksgiving was another family holiday drama situation for me where I wanted to eat all this food, and I would pile all this food on my plate, and I would start eating, and my mother would say, you're shoveling. And so I would just stop eating. And I was mad at the world. I was mad at my mother for being in my plate all the time. I was mad at everybody else for not saying anything and rescuing me from my mother. And I got into this place where I wouldn't eat a bunch of food because I didn't want anybody to see me shoveling. And so I felt like I was the villain. There was a whole bunch of drama involved in this, and we're going to talk more about that. What to expect today? We're going to talk about what holiday drama looks like for you. And I want you to really lean into this, okay? I want you to lean into this. I'm going to ask you questions, and I want you to get a pen and paper or write it down in your iPhone, whatever it is, write it down. I want you to really get a hold on what's going on with you. So we're going to talk about what holiday drama looks like for you. We're going to talk about the oppression trap triangle, which is also called the drama triangle. And we're going to talk about the three main roles of drama. Okay, there are three main roles, and I mentioned them already. We're going to talk more about that. And we're going to talk about how to get out of the drama triangle. We're going to talk about how to get out of it and how to move forward and progress during the holidays. So don't forget, before we move even deeper into this space, your perception is everything with this. Your perception is everything. How you perceive the people around you is very important. And it's also important to understand that other people have a perception that is not your perception. Okay. And so this is one of the things that comes up a lot in psychedelic experiences is people start to recognize that their perception is not what other people are perceiving. And they may have been projecting their perception onto other people. So I just want you to keep that in mind. I may bring you back to this, that your perception is everything around what's going on with family holiday drama. Okay. And so in the Condor Approach, we have the 4 Ns process, and we always take you through this every masterclass Mondays. I just want to remind you that we're going to do an intake. We're going to look at your intention. We're going to be in the space of showing you the foundations of the class, which is the oppression trap triangle. And we're going to talk about integration. So the 4 Ns is baked into everything that we do. And I just want to remind you. And again, if you want to dive deeper into this, set up a call with me and Cole. Cool. Let's do an intake. And I want you to get your pad, get your pen, get your book, your pencil, whatever it is, and let's do an intake on you. Right? And the first thing is, what holiday is the most drama filled for you? Which holiday is the most drama filled for you? What makes it so challenging for you? So what makes Christmas or whatever holiday that's challenging so challenging for you? So please share. I'd love to see what makes it so challenging for you. And I want you to write this down, okay? Because this is part of the process. I know the holidays, what makes the holidays so challenging for me is the unspoken stuff, the things that were never said, the things that aren't being said. Extremely challenging for me. So now the next thing we move on to is, who are the people you're having the most challenges with? Most important thing, who are the people you are having the most challenges with? The person that I had the most challenges with in my holiday circumstances, and still to this day, is my mom. And I love my mother. She's wonderful. She's a wonderful person. And I have challenges with her based on my past dramatic circumstances, one of which I spoke to y'all about. Actually, 2 of which I spoke to y'all about. I had heavy challenges with my mom during the holidays, and it made it really a space of anxiety for me when I went to holidays. So I had to reconcile this with myself, and I didn't know how for a long time, up until maybe 6 or 7 years ago, when I started to really explore this triangle that I'm going to teach y'all, and it was a game changer for me. Next question, what would you love your holidays to actually be like? Now you can write this down, you can pop it in the chat. I'd love to see some of your ideas around this. What would you love your holidays to actually be like? And I know I'd love for my holidays to be super chill. Everybody's having a great time. There's no drama over who cooked what and how it was cooked, or who said what to when. And all of these things would be gone, and everybody would be just chilling. There probably wouldn't be any gift exchange in the spaces that I go to unless people decided that's what they wanted to do. This is mine. Again, this is my perspective. I'm not interested in gifts coming into this way. If you want to put gifts out and all, that's wonderful. Let's talk about why I feel this way and what's going on with me, and have that fully accepted. That would be an ideal Christmas situation for me for the holidays. What's your intention? Okay. What is your intention for the holidays? What do you want to know? What do you want to do? Who do you want to be? And what do you want to understand from your holiday situation? Okay. When you're going into the holidays, what do you want to know? Do you want to know that everybody's fine? Do you want to know that everybody's having a good time? Do you want to know that your gifts are accepted? Do you want to know that this gift is enough? What do you want to do? Do you want to actually exchange gifts? Do you not want to actually exchange gifts? What do you want to travel? Do you want to go to people's house? Do you want to be left alone? What is your intention, right? Who do you want to be? Do you just want to be yourself without any titles, right? Do you not want to be the husband, or not want to be the wife, or not want to be the father? Or do you want to be that? How do you want to be seen? right? And what do you want to understand about the holidays? This is really important when you're going into your holidays. If you don't know what your intention is, it may not match with the intentions of the other people, and then you're going to bump heads or you're going to miss one another. And that is a place where drama starts to get excited. Drama starts to come to the surface and drama starts to build. Okay. So if you go into the holidays without an intention, you're asking for drama. So this is one of the things that I had to learn was, what was my intention for going to be with my family? Like, I just, this past Thanksgiving, what was my intention? My intention was to see people that I hadn't been around in a long time and actually see if my nervous system could navigate that and if I could be outside of the drama space the whole time. And I was outside of the drama space the entire time I was with my family, and it was so wonderful. So let's talk about in space. Now, in space is where I'm going to teach you about the main thing that we were talking about here, the drama triangle. Okay. And so we have what we call at the Condor Approach, the oppression trap triangle. And what we say at the Condor Approach is, you down with OTT? And then somebody will say, yeah, you know me. And I say, nah, yo, not me. Right. Okay. Nah, yo, not me. So I'm not interested in being in the oppression trap triangle. Why? Because it's an oppressive space, and it's an oppressive dynamic where we get stuck. And then it's like, why can't we get out of this triangle and actually have a nice time, a great time with our family members? Why can't we feel relaxed? Why do we feel trapped and stifled? Can I get a 1 in the chat if you've ever felt stifled or trapped in the holidays? Like, it's something that you have to do. You must be there. You must lean into your family. You must do these things. Yeah, 1. Okay. So this is a place where people feel stuck. And for me, I don't want to feel stuck at the holidays. I don't ever want to feel stuck in my life, but I tend to feel stuck in the holidays. And so this is also, the OTT is an adaptation of something called the drama triangle. And it's called the drama triangle because it's full of drama. All human beings right now, the way we are in our world, we tend to get stuck in this triangle. And this triangle is a place that our wars come out of, our family arguments come out of, and all of our family drama comes out of the drama triangle. Everything that's going on with you at your holiday situations comes out of this triangle, and I'm going to talk to you more about it. So there are 3 positions to this triangle. There's the victim, there's the victor, and there is the villain. Okay, I want you to write these down. The victim, the victor, and the villain. 3 of them. These roles can be accepted or they can be projected. Now, I can accept the role of the victim. My mother keeps telling me to stop shoveling, so she's doing this to me. And I can accept the role that my mother's doing something to me, so I'm accepting the role of the victim. Okay? Now, if my sister was being oppressed by my mother, I could jump in and be like, Mommy, stop saying that to my sister. And I can accept the role of the victor, right? And I can also accept the role of the villain, like I'm doing something to upset my mother. I can accept those roles. Then I can project the roles as well. I can be like, my mother is a villain for saying this stuff to me. Or I could be like, my mother's a victor. She's rescuing everybody else from my shoveling the food, right? I can do all of these things. I can project these things and I can accept these things. That's why I said earlier on, be mindful of your perception. Everything has to do with your perception of the situation and what's going on around you. Let's talk about the victim. The victim is the space that's in the lower left of the triangle, the way we use it at the Condor Approach. And before I go on with that, if this is resonating and you've seen this in your life and you want to move beyond this, get on a call with me and Cole and come to the Condor Approach. Let's get on a call and talk about how you can apply these concepts to everything in your life. Remember, the Condor Approach is not simply about psychedelic integration. It's about integration of all of your life's processes. That's why at Masterclass Mondays, we talk about these topics that are real life topics so that you can see that the things that come up in psychedelic experiences are these real life situations. I've had to navigate things with people around the holidays in psychedelic experiences. And there are a lot of people that are going for psychedelic experiences this time of year right now. And this holiday stuff is coming up. And so to be able to navigate this stuff is a skill set. And we have holidays throughout the year. Okay, this doesn't just apply to Christmas and Kwanzaa and Hanukkah, but this applies and New Year's and Thanksgiving. It applies to all the holidays, to Valentine's Day, to whatever, to every holiday. Okay, let's not get off track, Ty. So the victim, this person is oppressed or perceives being oppressed by the villain. Now, the villain can be your mom. The villain can be your cousin. The villain can be your aunt that got you the ugly sweater. The villain can be anybody in your family. The villain can be the person that said they didn't like your macaroni and cheese. Okay? That can be the villain, right? And so remember, anytime a person is hurt, harmed, perceives hurt, remember, it's all about your perception, perceives hurt, harm, loss, deficit, injury, like they're going to die or something about them is going to die, or pain, this is a space where a person can actually fall into the victim space and claim that. This person is the person that activates the victor. This person sends out a signal, and we're going to talk about that. This person activates the hero. This person activates the victor, and that person comes to the rescue. Okay? The victim is the person who has the most power in the triangle. Okay? And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that as we move along. The victor, this person is the steward of righteousness, right? This is the person that comes in to be the champion. They're the hero, the savior, the rescuer. This is the person who's the martyr, who will take a loss so that somebody else wins. This is the person who is the protector of the victim. And this person will protect the victim if the victim chooses to be protected or not. Okay? And so it can work in two different ways. If I see somebody yelling at a cousin of mine and I jump in to the rescue and I get into an argument to protect this person who may not have wanted me to protect them, I can be jumping in to protect them. And so this is where the drama comes in. The third person is the villain. And this is the person I call the harbinger of malice. This is the person that is considered malicious. And anybody that's considered malicious in the family situation, in the holiday situation, is the villain. And this person usually gets oppressed by the victor. Why are you talking to them like that? Stop talking to them like that. You shouldn't be doing that. That's the victor, right? This is the person that comes into this is the person that is oppressed by the victor, and this person oppresses the victim or is perceived by the victim as oppressive. And if I think my mother is going to tell me not to shovel my food, and she doesn't, right? What if I'll hide my food from my mother, or I won't eat? And so I'll do things because I perceive that the villain is coming to do something based on their past situations. And so that can be a very dicey space with projecting the villain stance on somebody. This person is oppressed by the victor or the hero on behalf of the victim. I said that already. And this person activates the virtue signal. And I'll talk about the virtue signal as well. This person knows all the positions best. The villain, or the person who has been villainized, let me take a deep breath. The villain is the person who knows all the other positions best. Okay. This person has usually been in the victim space, and they're also rescuing themselves from the potential of somebody else villainizing them again. So they know all the other angles of the triangle really well. And so these are the three places in the triangle: victim, the victor, and the villain. Now, there are white lines that are going around the triangle. So those lines are really important when we are considering ourselves in this triangle. And those lines are what we would call the energy of tantrum. This energy is the energy that moves through that triangle. That energy is a broadcast. If you saw a child having a tantrum, why are they having a tantrum? Maybe they didn't get the cookie they want. Maybe they didn't get the gift that they wanted. Maybe they're not allowed to go into a certain room or something like that. That is the person that is being oppressed. And if that person is oppressed and that energy is held in, when it explodes and comes out, they have a tantrum. And that may be a very expressive tantrum. Now that tantrum is what we would call the virtue signal, right? And that virtue signal is the energy that moves from the victim to the victor. This is when we send out for help. or we change and transform ourselves from the victim into the victor. Taking it back to my situation with my mom and the plate of food at Thanksgiving, because it's one of my favorite examples. I was the victim of my mother saying what she said to me about shoveling my food. And so what I did to rescue myself, nobody else would come to my aid. So I sent myself a virtue signal and I turned into the victor, and I decided that I wasn't going to eat at Thanksgiving anymore, or I was going to go into another room and protect myself from my mother and everyone else seeing how I ate. So I had to rescue myself. And so I became my own victor. And so in that space, when I left the table and I went into another room, I became the villain in my mother's eyes. Why are you doing this? Why are you being this way? And so here I am in 3 different corners of the triangle, all at the same time. And so that energy moves through the triangle up to from the victim to the victor. The victor then looks to oppress the villain and stop the villain from oppressing the victim. And so if I am the victim and I transform myself into the victor, I oppress the villain by leaving the room, and then it comes back this way. Okay. My mother then becomes the victim, and the people in the place become the victim by perception. Right. And so this is dashed. This bottom line here is dashed because there's an actual villainization and there's a perceived villainization. It can come in 2 ways. And this is something that I'm not going to dive into. This is something that we teach at the Condor Approach. So if this is wetting your whistle, I want you to get on a call with us and come to the Condor Approach so we can dive really deep into this. We have a whole section of the Condor Approach that's dedicated just to the oppression trap triangle. The virtue signal is also what we would call the bat signal. Batman has a signal that Commissioner Gordon sends out when there's crime happening. And so the virtue signal goes out. How do I get out of the triangle? This is the question. How do I get out of the triangle? Number 1, awareness of the roles. You have to be aware that you're playing the role. You have to be aware that you're in the victim space. If you're angry, you're probably, and this is one of the things that's really important, is understanding your emotions. We're going to get about that. We're going to get to that in a moment. Being awareness of the roles. If you don't know that you're playing in the triangle, then you can't get out of it. Okay. And so if someone comes to you and says something and you get angry, what are you angry at? Anger is usually a protective mechanism. And if you need to be protected, chances are you're perceiving that someone else is a villain. Okay. And so if you're projecting villain onto somebody else, your protective mechanisms will come online. So being awareness of your role, also being awareness of the helplessness. If you're in a spousal relationship and you go to your spouse and you're like, my mother keeps doing this, you might be going to get rescued. Now there's getting support from somebody and there's getting rescued. Could you help me? Could you do this for me? Can you my mother's this terrible person. Can you help me with this? That can also be a victim space. So be mindful of what you're doing and be mindful of projecting the role into another person to rescue you from the space. I know this can be challenging, but this is the step 1, being awareness of the role. Number 2, feeling the feelings. When somebody comes around and you feel the drama well up in your body, because I know I can feel the drama well up in my body, and that's where it all starts, where the drama starts to build in my body. Right? I start to feel the feelings. Okay, so I ask myself a question, and I want you to write this down. What am I feeling? Okay. And then I feel that, right? I feel angry. I feel hurt. I feel afraid. I feel stuck. And just being able to be aware that you're in that place. If you're stuck, you're probably feeling oppressed. What's oppressing me? Then you can dial into what are the roles again, right? Do I see somebody as a villain? Do I see somebody as a victim? Am I not saying something to protect somebody? Am I people pleasing? All of these things will come up with your feelings. So awareness, feel the feelings. And third thing is to stop playing the role. This is the most challenging space for most people. And this is one of the things that people work with in psychedelics is sometimes we have a habit form around being a victim. That's a habit. Over and over again, I'm the victim. I can't catch a break. That kind of language is victim language, right? I have to protect my family at all costs. I have to rescue all these people. The government's terrible. We need to do something about that. That's victor language, right? And it's also projecting villain language. And so when we are doing that, when we are projecting and accepting these roles, we are playing the triangle. So we have to stop playing the roles. And this can be a very challenging space. And this is why being a Condor coach or having a Condor coach is a really great place, because they can show you how to stop playing the roles and making a strategy around moving away from those roles. The fourth thing is to stop projecting the roles. Okay. If you're stop playing the role yourself, and then don't project the role. Oh, this person's such a victim. Now, in order to stop playing the roles, you have to actually become intimate. And this is where the villain is really good at this, right? If you've been the villain person, you understand what projection is. And so you can stop accepting the projection, and you can stop projecting onto other people. Stop projecting. That person's always, why are you always trying to rescue somebody? No, hey, listen, I completely understand and get that. Could we try a different angle? Would you like to move into a different space? I want to be in a cohesive space. Stop projecting the roles, y'all. The fifth and final thing is be the observer and stay objective. To be an observer and see all of the stuff that's going on around me. Now, if my mother was to say to me, Ty, you're shoveling, I'd say, thank you, mommy. And I'd watch her and see what she's doing. And I'd stay objective, and I'd be like, tell me what makes you think I'm shoveling. Or, tell me what that does for you when I eat this way. Tell me what it does for you. Then I don't observe the victim space, and I'm not rescuing my mother from how I eat, because I'm eating how I eat, regardless of how anybody says anymore. And so to be able to step into a power space is to be the observer and to stay objective. Okay. This is a bonus thing here. Be mindful not to shame others that are playing the triangle. Okay. If you know the triangle and you can see the triangle and you can step out and be the observer, be mindful not to shame others that are playing the triangle, because then you're actually jumping back in there with them and you're fortifying the triangle. Don't be like, oh, I see you. You just you're rescuing you and you caught in a triangle. We've had to talk to Condor Approach coaches about this in the past, where they're like projecting, oh, who's in the triangle now, right? Please don't shame people for being in the triangle. Practice compassion and understanding towards those that are caught in the drama triangle, avoiding the perpetration of shame. This is a very important thing. And this is how we integrate. Remember, we did an intake on ourselves. We found out who the people were, what the holiday was, what made it the most challenging for ourselves. And then we took a look at we made an intention of what we want our holidays to look like, right? We want our holidays to look this way. My intention is to be with my family this way, and so on. And now we went into the space and we explored the triangle, and we saw the different positions that you may be hiding and you may be stuck in. And then we pulled back from that and we became objective. And now it's, okay, what are we going to do with this? When I see myself getting into this space, how do I remember that? And so we journal about our awareness. That's a key place. Writing down, being aware of what you've been doing, and journaling your awareness. 2, having conversations. And this is conversations outside of the drama space. Do not have conversations about fixing the drama inside of the drama space. Have the conversations outside of the drama when everybody's calm. Teach other people about the triangle. This is one of the things that has been foundational for helping people move through holiday drama with me is, hey, y'all, I learned something. I want to sit down and show y'all this, right? So I would love to hear your opinions on this. And then write the triangle, write victim, write victor, and write villain on the piece of paper and be like, look, this is what I've been exploring. And I've been exploring how I've been stuck in relationships in my life with this. What do y'all think? And that opens people up to be able to actually see where they are on the triangle without you pointing a finger at them and saying that, right? And then so once you have the conversation in that space, you can be like, hey, if you ever see me in a triangle, would you be able to bring it to my attention? If you see me playing the victim, would you be able to tell me? If you see me rescuing and you don't want to be rescued, could you bring it to my attention? Because I'm looking to craft intention and attention for myself to get out of this triangle, because I don't want to be stuck. I want to be free in my expression, and I want to support other people being in that space. So having that kind of conversation is the out. Okay. And being able to have your awareness, journal your awareness, and see how often you get stuck. If there are people that it happens over and over with, if there are holidays that it's happening over and over with, over and over again. I find that the Christmas time holidays, Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, New Year's, Thanksgiving are very big. The other one that I find the most drama in is Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is a huge drama triangle space. And so being able to have conversations about this beforehand are tremendously important. Now, the fourth thing that you can do to support yourself in integrating this is actually come to the Condor Approach. I want you to come to the Condor Approach, y'all. I want you to learn this. And if this is really sitting with you and you want to become a Condor Approach, Cole, please pop a link in the chat and on Facebook for people to book a call. I want you to book a call and I want to talk to you to see if this is right for you, right? And if you're feeling called to this, please come to the Condor Approach. We need more people than just me and Cole and the 107 Condor coaches. We have a world with 8.2 billion people right now, and we need more people on deck to do this. So if you're feeling the calling, I want you to get on a call with us and let's talk about if the Condor Approach is the move for you. Cool. So we're going to recap. We talked about what holiday drama looks like for you. We wrote down all the things. We talked about the oppression trap triangle. We talked about the three main roles of drama: the villain, the victim, and the victor. And we talked about how to get out of the triangle. Thank you so much for joining us. If you want to learn more, please let's get on a call, okay? And I'm dead serious and I'm live serious about this. Let's get on a call and let's talk about you moving forward with us, with the Condor Approach. So thank you so much, y'all. I'm so glad and grateful that you're here. I hope you enjoy your holidays drama-free. I love you. I thank you. I appreciate you. Be easy and be free. And we will catch y'all on the other side. Be free, y'all. Peace.
Some things need to be healed in community, and we offer you something unparalleled with the Condor Approach Live. We're going to talk about how to prepare for, navigate, and integrate your psychedelic experiences for yourself or those that you love. These live events are catalysts. They really allow you to uncover and unleash the potential that you already have within you. When you're surrounded by like-minded people who are walking the walk and are committed to the path, you may even find your next facilitator or coach, but this event is designed to foster genuine relationships, give you community that supports and uplifts you, wants to see you win. If you've been wanting to embody this understanding and take these skills to a new level, then a live dynamic environment is just the way. You can go to thecondorapproach.com. That is thecondorapproach.com, and we will see you in February.
Integration is not optional.